Donald Trump submitted his budget for next year, slashing nearly a quarter of spending from non-defense programs, but entirely canceling it with increased military spending and border security. The net comes to plus $160 billion in spending. Now, to be fair, it's a big change from Joe Biden, who in his last budget proposed $1.2 trillion in additional spending, 8 times more, of which Congress gave Joe Biden $800 billion. Still, a lot of us were hoping for cuts in spending, and rather big ones. Now, you could argue border security is an investment. Each deported illegal saves us hundreds of thousands down the line, plus the crime. You could even argue the military is fixing the wars Biden let happen. And without a doubt, both are better than sending billions to the radical left slush funds from U.S. aid to the DEI industrial complex. Still, more government spending is not what most Trump voters were hoping for. So this is the so-called skinny budget, which presidents put out to test the waters before issuing a full budget request. And none of this has force of law. It just nudges Congress, who ultimately writes the budget. So why are the cuts so small? Setting aside the border crisis and Trump's affinity for military spending, the main reason is that Trump and Congress have taken so-called entitlement spending off the table. These include Social Security and Medicare, but also Medicaid, which is bloated by illegals and industrial-scale fraud. People claiming to be poor so they both avoid taxes and get free medical care. Now, DOJ is trying to cut these by rooting out fraud, but entitlements are the third rail in politics. They're very popular, and anybody who touches them gets electrocuted. So Trump knows there is no way Congress will formally vote for cuts. Now, taking entitlements off the table takes out nearly 2/3 of federal spending. Interest on the debt takes that to 3/4. They're not cutting that. And defense takes it to just shy 90% of the budget off the table. That leaves just $1 trillion in play out of a $7 trillion budget. So Trump's 1/4 cut is exactly what the voters ordered. After all, it includes a 44% cut to housing and urban development, 55% cut to EPA, and an 84% cut to state foreign aid. But zoom out, and it is peanuts. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. It's still possible that cuts could grow between fraud in Social Security and Medicaid and interest on the national debt that's actually falling for the first time in years. On the other hand, it could also get worse as Congress dreams up new ways to waste money. Congress is already trying to respend between 85 and 99 cents on the dollar of DOJ savings. In Trump's first term, he proposed massive budget cuts every single year. Congress rejected them, but the flesh was willing. Throw in Elon and DOJ, and we've got the best budget-cutting team in decades, maybe since Warren G. Harding. And if the best we get from this dream team is an increase in spending, then truly nothing stops this train. Meaning we need fundamental reform, whether a balanced budget amendment, which will never pass Congress, or ending the Fed to reimpose limits to federal spending. Otherwise, we are headed off the cliff. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.